stories you are about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't. I'm Dave Michaels with this week's edition of Spot Crime, where we highlight crimes reported in the CSRA. We've had 53 assaults around the CSRA. They took place on the 1700 block of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, the 1300 block of Cherry Avenue, the 2300 block of DeVry Street, the 1800 block of Cooney Circle, the 3900 block of Deborah Street, Old Waynesboro Road, Pleasant Home Road at Treburton Trail, 2400 block of Yates Drive, the 2400 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 2400 block of Jumper Drive, the 2600 block of Barclay Street, the 2400 block of Amsterdam Drive, the 700 block of Broad Street, the 2300 block of Heritage Court, Fox Trace Drive, the 2400 block of Southgate Drive, the 2700 block of Margaret Court, the 2100 block of Lumpkin Road, the 600 block of Bransford Road, the 2000 block of First Avenue, the 2100 block of Silverdale Road, Milledgeville Road, the 2300 block of Amsterdam Drive, the 3200 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 100 block of Skinner Road, the 1100 block of Azalea Drive, the 3100 block of River Oak Road, the 2700 block of Smith Drive, the 500 block of Broad Street, the 2100 block of Helpsome McBeam Road, the 400 block of East Boundary Street, the 600 block of Sea Owl Drive, the 3400 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 3100 block of Washington Road, the 2100 block of Bayville Road, the 3700 block of Vera Drive, the 1300 block of Beeman Street, the 3500 block of Camac Drive, the 200 block of East Telfair Street, the 1600 block of McCalkey Street, the 1600 block of the Gordon Highway, the 2500 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road, the 2800 block of Deansbridge Road, the 900 block of Molly Pond Road, Bath Peterson Road, the 2900 block of Wellington Street, the 1600 block of McCalkey Street, 2100 block of 2nd Avenue, the 500 block of Logan's Way, the 3100 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 1500 block of Wooten Road, and the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road. 30 burglaries around the CSRA. They took place on the 1500 block of McCalkey Street, the 3700 block of Beacon Hill Drive, the 2300 block of Tobacco Road, the 4200 block of James Street, the 2300 block of Allen Avenue, the 2200 block of Rozier Road, the 3500 block of Edgeworth Drive, the 100 block of Milledgeville Road, the 1100 block of Huntington Drive, the 1700 block of Hicks Street, the 1500 block of Bertrand Court, the 2800 block of Ingleside Drive, the 2500 block of Redoubt Circle, the 2900 block of Glen Hills Drive, the 5000 block of Old Waynesboro Road, the 2400 block of Windsor Springs Road, the 2700 block of Ingleside Drive, the 2100 block of Helpsome McBeam Road, the 400 block of Sandbar Ferry Road, the 3900 block of Deborah Street, the 2000 block of Nanmart Court, the 100 block of Watkins Street, the 2500 block of Hanover Street, the 2800 block of Beacon Drive, the 1900 block of Powell Road, the 2900 block of Willis Foreman Road, the 3100 block of Melba Drive, the 1700 block of Rush Drive, the 2900 block of DeHalla Drive, and the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road. 7 robberies around the CSRA. They took place on the 1200 block of Ellis Street, the 100 block of 4th Street, the 1800 block of Watkins Street, the 3300 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 1700 block of Starnes Street, the 2400 block of Dublin Drive, and Meadowbrook Drive. 2 charged of damage to property on the 2500 block of Cross Creek Road and the 2400 block of Amsterdam Drive. 2 charged of reckless conduct on the 2500 block of Andorra Drive and the 1700 block of Sibley Road, and 1 kidnapping on the 2100 block of Walton Way. If you know anything about these crimes or any other crimes, call our toll-free tip line at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you may remain anonymous and may get a cash reward.
On Sunday, November 17th, at approximately 22:24 hours, Richmond County Sheriff's deputies answered a call to 15th Street and Carver Drive regarding an injured person. Upon deputies' arrival, it was learned that 31-year-old Xavier Allen had sustained gunshot wounds to his leg and his back. The victim was transported to Georgia Regents University for medical treatment. Sheriff's investigators are still investigating this incident. As of this time, there are no suspects or information. Further details will be forthcoming on our Facebook page by going to Facebook and searching for AugustaCrimeStoppers.org. If you know where this shooter is, please call Sergeant Shane McDaniel or Major Scott Peoples at 706-821-1080 or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
The video you see is a robber who held a knife to a lady's throat in her car at the corner of Green and 4th. He walks by one time checking things out, then comes back after circling around holding the knife with his right hand in his pocket. Then we see him run from the scene of the crime towards Telfair across Green. When we posted this to our Augusta Crime Stoppers Facebook page, we got several responses, and here's what some of our viewers wrote. Jewel Borden wrote, "Last year?" To which Augusta Crime Stoppers responded, "Yes, he's still on the loose, and Christmas is the time a lot more of these guys go shopping. The key is to show you your robber before he robs you." Viviana Renteria wrote, "That's scary, and the fact that no one saw the crime happening during the daytime in downtown is even scarier." To which Augusta Crime Stoppers responded, "There was another person in the car. They saw the whole thing. What do you holler when someone could slit your friend's throat? They were stunned until the robber was gone, then the weight of what happened hit them." Amazingly, not long after we put this out, someone thought they saw him crossing Green Street not far from where he mugged this lady. To which Viviana Renteria wrote, "Obviously, if there was a knife to my friend's throat, I'm not going to risk having her throat be cut by trying to be a hero. I'd let him take our money. I was just shocked that more pedestrians weren't near the area to take more detailed info, especially during the day. Just glad it didn't end fatally." Then Lisa Dill wrote in and said, "I need one of those surveillance cameras." If you know where police may find this black male walking wannabe slasher who ran east on Green, please call investigator Calvin Chu at 706-821-1080 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid. The black male you see on your screen stole an employee's cell phone while she was trying to stock shelves at the Washington Road Walmart in Evans. The victim stated she left her cell phone laying on a box unattended while she was stocking shelves. The victim stated when she returned, the cell phone was gone. The victim stated she checked the surveillance camera and observed a black male subject take her phone. The victim described the subject as a black male, 16 to 25 years of age, wearing a white t-shirt, gray jeans, and black shoes with white trim. The victim observed the suspect on camera leave the business and get into a burgundy Ford Crown Victoria or Mercury Grand Marquis. If you think you know where this younger black male may be, or you see this younger black male traveling in a burgundy Crown Victoria or Marquis, please call Captain Steve Morris of the Columbia County Sheriff's Office at 706-541-4050 or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid. On Sunday, November 17th, Richmond County deputies were called to the Sego Middle School just before 7 p.m. when an alarm at the school was activated. Officers found that a back door of the gymnasium had been pried open. Upon investigators viewing the school security system's video, they saw 3 black male tweens running through the school at about 4:25 p.m. Investigators say these 3 younger black males are likely to have stolen computers and video cameras from the school. Anyone with information about the burglary of Sego Middle School can contact Investigator Tim Taylor of the Richmond County Board of Education at 706-826-1133 or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org. Then follow your tips on the Augusta Crime Stoppers Facebook page, where you can remain anonymous and get paid. The U.S. Marshal's Office has issued a be on the lookout for 32-year-old Marcus Tyrone Murray, who is also known as Momo. Marcus Tyrone Murray, who's known as Momo, is wanted for federal supervision violations. Marcus Tyrone Murray is 6'1" and weighs 225 pounds. He has brown eyes and brown hair. Marcus Tyrone Murray, also known as Momo, also has tattoos on his upper left arm and chest. Marcus Tyrone Murray is known by his associates as Momo. If you know where Marcus Tyrone Murray, who is known as Momo, is, please call the United States Marshal's Office at 706-724-5040 or 1-877-926-8332 or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid. On Sunday, 11/17, at approximately 17:30 hours, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office responded to the Golden Garden Korean restaurant at 3253 Deansbridge Road in reference to a robbery of the business. It was learned that the suspect entered the business posing to be a customer and advising the owner that he needed to call his friend to see about a takeout order. When the owner began walking back to the kitchen, the suspect grabbed the cash register from the counter and ran from the business. The white male suspect is described as being approximately 20 to 25 years of age, wearing a plaid button-up long-sleeved shirt, tan cargo shorts, black sneakers, and a black ball cap with DG in white lettering on the front. Attached are photos of the suspect. Anyone with information on the identity of the suspect is asked to please contact the Richmond County Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1080. A copy of these pictures may be picked up at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office Records Bureau. If you know how police may find this thief, please call Lieutenant Calvin Chu at 706-821-1028 or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or text your tips to 803-441-8744, or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid. Now for an update on suspected bank robber Brendan Gray, who robbed a Metro Federal Credit Union while out on bond for robbing a GNC. CSI 327I reported Brendan Allen Gray was staying in the Red Roof Inn by Walmart in Macon in the last room on the right on the second floor. He was last seen driving a white 90s to 2000 Honda Accord four-door sedan with dark tinted windows, factory rims, and a handicapped license tag. He was being followed by a tan 2000 Cadillac four-door sedan DeVille that he had been driving, which has a dent on the driver's side and a paper tag in someone else's name. We called it in, and Detective Raza called back, so we gave him all the info about Gray on the second floor of the Red Roof Inn before Macon police came to the Red Roof Inn. But Gray hid in a buddy's room while they searched his room. Shortly, the tipster called back when we posted on our Augusta Crime Stoppers page for a better description of his location and what he was wearing. Gray had another room he stayed at the Villager near the Super 8 motel, but when he saw the Macon police try to get him at the Red Roof, he didn't go back to the Villager. Another tipster called in and said that Brendan Gray was going to be at another location at a certain time, but no one from the Macon police showed up to arrest him at that location, so he watched the football game there with his buddies and his girlfriend and has not been seen since. Brendan Gray was driving a gray Ford Mustang, a tan Cadillac sedan DeVille with a dent on the driver's side, and a white Honda Accord. He had frequented Highway 56, 25, and Highway 1, mostly staying on the south side of town. If you know where police may find Brendan Allen Gray, please call Investigator Raza or any other investigator at 706-821-1080, or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS, or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid. Aiken County Sheriff's deputies say this man tried to rob the Kangaroo Express at Whiskey Road and Pine Log Road in Aiken early Saturday. Police say the suspect did not produce a weapon, but the clerk believed he was armed. The suspect fled the incident location before receiving anything from the clerk. Know who he is? Please call Crime Stoppers of the Midlands at 888-CRIME-SC, where you can remain anonymous and you could be eligible for a cash reward of up to $1,000. Richmond County Sheriff's deputies are asking for your help finding Charlie David Davis, who is charged with possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, in addition to a more recent aggravated assault. He was last seen on Highway 25 driving a light teal green earlier model Chevy Cavalier with a bad paint job and aftermarket mirrors. He had a 30 to 50-year-old black male passenger, and they were headed east on Highway 25 on the south side of Augusta. He may take hostages or carjack your car, and he's usually armed. If you think you know where Charlie David Davis is, please call Lieutenant Calvin Chu or any other investigator at 706-821-1080, or call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid. On Wednesday, November 13th at approximately 17:06 hours, Richmond County Sheriff's deputies answered a call to the 1800 block of Cooney Circle near Jennings Homes in regards to gunshots being fired. Upon arrival, it was learned that an unidentified male sustained a gunshot wound to the back and was transported to Georgia Regents University ER for medical treatment. Further investigation revealed that a 9-year-old child was also injured by broken glass and was being treated at the scene. There is no suspect information at this time. Richmond County investigators are currently investigating this incident. Further details are forthcoming when available. Watch for updates on this shooting at CrimeReportsRewards.com every Thursday night at 9 and Sundays at noon on Comcast 103, Nology 151, Charter 96, and other local channels. If you know where this shooter is, please call Investigator Riddle or any other investigator at 706-821-1080 or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
And now for a story by WJBF reporter Mike Miller on Richmond County residents who graduated from the Citizens Police Academy. The program got started earlier this year to bridge the gap between the community and law enforcement. This is the second graduating class of Richmond County Citizens Police Academy. The first class graduated in May. The program gives citizens a better understanding of law enforcement and also promotes teamwork between the sheriff's office and citizens. I was quoted as saying, "The CSI class was fascinating because we saw how the CSIs really work, and we met the CSIs that actually do it. So we learned how to take better fingerprints and find all kinds of clues." Over the weekend, the students learned how to fire weapons and also learned how the bomb squad works. I was quoted as saying those parts of the program are fun to learn, but the most important part is building a relationship with local law enforcement. They want us to tell as many people as we can how the police work, what the police need, and why they do what they do. Several students say that in Richmond County there is a misconception about police officers, but they're hoping that will change. Citizens Police Academy graduate Ronaldo Wolfuk said, "You know, a lot of kids are running from the cops just because they showed up. A lot of times they just want to talk to them or just come up and say hello. But when they run, and then when you run, the cops are going to chase you." Since taking office in January, Sheriff Richard Roundtree has been promoting community policing. He also expects his deputies to have one-on-one contact with residents. So far this year, crime numbers are down in several different categories. So some people say the program is working. It seems to be working out very well, especially when we have the graduates go back into the community and they tell their friends and their families about their experiences and invite them to come and join so they too can have a better understanding and appreciation for what we do as deputies. Captain Wendy George said, "The next Citizens Police Academy is scheduled in March. If you're interested in the program, you can apply by going to the Sheriff's Office."
This Crime Reports and Rewards special report on the drug war. Here's Griff Griffin.
Michael Felderbaum of the Associated Press reports religious broadcaster Pat Robertson says marijuana should be legalized and treated like alcohol because the government's war on drugs has failed.
We here in America make up 5% of the world's population, but we make up 25% of jailed prisoners. Even though these prisoners may have been sentenced by some court for some offense, should they be behind bars? Here's the thing, we have now over 3,000, the number must be much higher than that, but over 3,000 federal crimes. And every time the liberals pass a bill, I don't care what it involves, they stick criminal sanctions on it. They don't feel that there's any way that people are going to keep a law unless they can put them in jail. And so we have the jails filled with people who are white-collar criminals. And I became sort of a hero of the hippie culture, I guess, when I said I think we ought to decriminalize the possession of marijuana. I just think it's shocking how many of these young people wind up in prison and they get turned into hardcore criminals because they have had possession of a very small amount of a controlled substance. I mean, the whole thing is crazy. And we've said, well, we're conservatives, we're tough on crime. That's baloney. It's costing us billions and billions of dollars. Now think of California. California is spending more money on prisons than it spends on schools. I mean, there's something wrong about that equation, you know? There's something wrong. And I think we need to scrub the federal code and the state codes and take away these criminal penalties. There's restitution, there are all kinds of fines, there are things you can do, but putting people in jail at a huge expense to the population is insanity.
Robertson's support for legalizing pot appeared in a New York Times story published Thursday. His spokesman confirmed to the Associated Press that Robertson supports legalization with regulation. I really believe we should treat marijuana the way we treat beverage alcohol, Robertson was quoted by the newspaper as saying. If people can go into a liquor store and buy a bottle of alcohol and drink it at home legally, then why do we say that the use of this other substance is somehow criminal? Robertson, he absolutely supports ballot measures in Colorado and Washington state that would allow people older than 21 to possess a small amount of marijuana and allow for commercial pot sales. Both measures, if passed by voters, would place the states at odds with federal law, which bans marijuana use of all kinds. While he supports the measures, Robertson said he would not campaign for them and was not encouraging people to use narcotics in any way, shape, form, or manner. I'm not a crusader, he said. I've never used marijuana, and I don't intend to, but it's just one of those things I think this war on drugs just hasn't succeeded. In a statement Thursday, Ethan Nadelman, executive director of the Drug Policy Alliance, says Robertson's clearly stated and well-reasoned comments throw a curveball into the growing debate over legalizing marijuana. Defenders of marijuana prohibition must be wondering if it's only a matter of time before theirs proves to be a lost cause, he said. 16 U.S. states and the District of Columbia have legalized the medical use of marijuana. Several states also have decriminalized marijuana, which removes or lowers penalties for possession. Crime reports point out that keeping the laws as they are is pumping billions of dollars out of America and into the hands of the world's worst possible people, who include the Taliban, Hezbollah, Latin American drug cartels, and criminals who now outnumber law enforcement many times over. Proper regulation of pot would slash the jugular of all these criminal elements, create millions of jobs, and immediately start lowering our nation's debt, as any of the states that tax marijuana are now gaining huge windfalls of tax income. Law enforcement in each of these states now has been freed up to go after the real, violent, bad guys with all the time they have on their hands not chasing pot smokers. Records show that crime dropped right after prohibition on alcohol, and the same crime drop should happen right after pot is properly regulated, instead of being available to every 10-year-old almost anywhere in America, as is now under the current law.
You've been watching Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous. The criminals don't. If you have any information on these or any other crimes, call our national tip line at 1-800-222-TIPS. Well, you'll stay anonymous and could get a cash reward. You can see this or any other episode of Crime Reports and Rewards on the web anytime at crimereportsandrewards.com. Crime Reports and Rewards is a production of Michaels Media.